Okay. Hey, Talina.
Hmm.
All right, so we've got about 15 minutes today to talk about what's been going on with you. And so you're going to hear my timer go off in about 15 minutes, just to let me know that we need to start wrapping up. So you told me that you've kind of had a rough week and wanted to kind of talk about what's been going on. What are a couple things that you would like to see happen in our session today?
I just kind of want to talk about everything that's been going on, and to have a voice and to have someone actually hear my voice.
So just be able to verbalize what's happened and feel like,
Yeah, just a safe place to say everything that I felt.
okay. So why don't you tell me what's been going on?
So Thursday, it was just a rough day. I don't really have an explanation of why. It's almost like I just woke up and it was a grieving day. So, it was a Thursday whenever we found out about Sean's accident. And it was a Thursday whenever my grandpa passed away 2 years ago. So Thursday's just gonna suck.
I feel like Thursdays are just kind of the recurring here between John and your grandfather.
Yeah. So I don't know if I've told you or not, but September for the last 3 years has been the year to lose somebody. So it started with my grandfather 3 years ago. And my grandma was 2 years ago. And then it was John. And then my dad had a stroke in December. And then my uncle, passed away in December of last year. So it's just been a brief year. And I wasn't really close with my uncle, but it was just kind of one of those repetitive themes, I guess.
You had a lot of loss, a lot of illness, a lot of things repeating.
Yeah. It's such a rough. And I guess I'm not someone who processes fluidly, if that makes sense. So it's not like, okay, this happened yesterday, and so I'm going to process today, and I'm going to process throughout this week, and then I'll be, not that you're ever really done processing, but, it's like I'm not like just done processing. So like John's thing happened 2 months ago, and it feels like I'm just now starting to process some of those emotions and things that come along with it, if that makes sense. So it's almost like I would just put my processing of it on hold for 2 months. And then woke up on Thursday and I was like, oh, I guess it's time to start processing this.
Do you feel like you just started processing John?
Pretty much. I kind of, had the initial, I guess, freak out moment when we found out about the accident. And then I've had moments of grief, but it's not like I don't know. I don't really know how to put it into words. I don't know. It's like, I told Adam, it's almost like my brain can't handle it. And so it's like, it sneaks up in random moments so I can process in bites and pieces. And then it disappears again. Does that even make sense? Is that even a thing?
So you're handling it here, and then you'll handle some here.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, so John was on prescription drugs that were not prescription whenever the accident happened. And that's not what caused the accident. The seizure is what caused the accident. However, I strongly believe that the seizure was related back to the drugs and everything that he was on. And my other brother, Talina, has been suffering with some of that in the past. And so it's like, now that we lost John, it's a fear that we're going to lose Talina through the same thing. So it's just scary.
You've got a lot of fear going on in you right now.
Yes.
How are you processing that fear?
I'm not. I'm just not.
Can you tell me about Thursday?
So Thursday, I really don't have any like palpable things. Nothing really happened. It was like I woke up and I think I was okay. I woke up and it was like I got in the car and then started crying for no reason, which is typical for when I'm like having a processing day, I guess, is like random things will happen or a song will come on the radio or, that kind of thing. And it's like I start processing and I start crying. And then I continue to start crying and I can't stop crying. And then I'll have to face something, like, not face something. Like, I'll have to go somewhere or go talk to somebody. And so it's like, I'll be able to hide it for a short time. And then it's like, as soon as I get alone again, it's like resurfaces and start crying randomly for no reason again. I feel like I'm a 13-year-old girl getting my period for the first time all over again.
So the emotions are hitting you by yourself.
Usually, yeah. I'm not a social processor, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Like, I to go for runs by myself, or that's usually when I process most, especially if I'm having, like when John first passed away, I was having a lot of angry days. And so that's how I went and dealt with it, is I went for a run. And it allows me to get rid of that aggression, but at the same time, by myself, so I can process. And I put my Jesus music in my ears and just run it out. And cry when I need to, I shake my fist when I need to, or if I'm running and there's random people passing by, and I'm like, whatever, I don't care. They don't know me from Adam. So.
Have you talked with, like, how is Adam, your Adam? How's your Adam working in with this?
He's a really good support. Anytime he knows I'm having, like Thursday, he cooked me lunch randomly, and I asked him to. I just came home from a couple of my patients, and he's like, "You're babe, I made this for you." And like, I know you have a bad day, and so it's like he's definitely a comforter and a caretaker, but he's not an emotional person. Like, he doesn't process emotions the same way I do at all. He's very much an internalizer. I might have seen him cry once in our relationship. And that's just him. And he's just a very facts guy. And I don't know. Like on the emotional side of things, he just doesn't. And so it's like, yes, he's a great comforter, but he's not one to like join me in my emotion part of it. Does that make sense? He doesn't downplay it, but he just doesn't, I guess, understand it. Does that make sense?
So if I hear you correctly, he can take care of your physical self, but he doesn't know how to really connect with
the
you.
Emotional, yeah. Yeah. Plus, he's never, like, he's lost his grandmother, but he's never really lost anybody that was, like, next to him. Does that make sense? So it's like, yes, he's processed some loss in his life, but it's on a different level.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know how to word that. But it's like he can help me. He's a good sounding board, I guess, whenever I need to say something or word something. But he doesn't really know how to validate, I guess is the word I want. Like, he doesn't know how to validate my emotions. So it's not like he downplays them. He supports them, but at the same time, he doesn't know how to, like, validate it. Does that make sense?
Is validation what you're wanting from him?
I don't know. I don't know if I necessarily need it from him. I just need it from somebody.
Can you describe what validation would look like to you?
No. Which doesn't help. It doesn't help someone meet a need that I can't even express why I need it, or like how I need it.
Give me a definition. Give me your intellectual definition of validation.
I guess just that, like, I know that what I feel in the grieving process is normal, but I guess it's just hearing somebody else tell me, like, that it is normal and that they feel the same way. Like, they've felt it before. Does that make sense? Someone that's been there, been through it, and then can say, oh yeah, I've been there. And I don't know. I guess somebody that's made it through it and is on the other side. Does that make sense?
You need, so it sounds to me like you're looking for success stories.
I guess, yeah.
What do you want to see on your other side?
I guess an ability, like I know I'll always have fear of some sort, but just the ability to not be overcome by it, I guess. It's like I don't wake up surrounded by fear or anything like that. But it's like once I go there, I stay there. And I get surrounded by it. And it takes like all day to like climb back out of it. And then I'm okay for a while. And then once I go there, I get stuck there. And then I can climb back out. Does that make sense? And like even though it's not a daily occurrence for me, it's still one of those things that I don't even want to get stuck there, even if it is just for a short period of time. Like I want to be able to process through my fear and my emotions, and I feel like right now I can't. Like I'm stuck in an emotional pit.
I'm hearing kind of a circular pattern for you, where you're feeling normal, and then it starts, and then you're stuck, and then you come back out of it. And
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would say it's probably at least a 2 to 4 week pattern. For sure. And I think a lot of it has to do with what's going on. Like Wednesday, we have a lady that just lost her grandmother, and her grandmother had a stroke around the same time that John had his accident. And so, her grandmother just passed away, and so she had to go to the funeral this weekend. So we were processing through it together on Wednesday. And so I think that's part of what spurred my Thursday is that I already went there with her, and then just kind of never came out of it. If that makes sense. And it's almost like I waited until Thursday to actually process the emotions that I started with her. If that makes sense.
like the man in a trigger.
Yeah. Exactly.
Have you seen any other triggers that start those?
Any movies regarding death? Adam had to deal with we were watching Deadpool 2, and at the very end, the guy dies and comes back to life. And it just triggered a complete, like, hysteric fit. It was probably 2 weeks, I guess, after John's death. So. But that's like I said, Adam's very supportive in the fact that, he could tell that I needed him. And so he just surrounded me with himself. And once I got calmed down, we had ice cream and no, you're fine. And he kind of helped. I guess he helps pull me back out and helps pull me back into normalcy. I guess he does kind of validate me. Just in his own little way.
So what do you feel you could do, since Adam can't meet that emotional, he can meet your physical, but he's not meeting the emotional right now. What do you feel you can do to help recognize and break that pattern of those triggers starting the process for you?
I think A is recognition of the trigger. Does that make sense? So like saying, okay, I know that this right here is a trigger, and then finding someone, if it, just finding someone that I can say, okay, this is what I'm feeling currently, given that trigger, and talking and processing through it right then, or at least soon after that, so that way it doesn't fall into the direct emotional pit, I guess. But I guess processing through it earlier rather than waiting until I can't stop crying.
So I'm recognizing two things that you've just said. Recognizing your trigger, which I think just through talking you recognized movies, anything regarding death, your friend's grandmother. Those are going to be triggers for you. And then finding someone, having someone. So I think you have two pretty solid things right there. Who can you talk to?
I have a friend that lost her brother a year ago. We went to a T school together. I guess 2 years ago now. It's been a little while, but she's really good at being able to. She's a lot of self-awareness, and so being able to talk to her, I think, would help, because I think when I spend time with her, it increases my own self-awareness. If that makes sense. And so if she's available, she's got 3 kids, but I think she's a good one. And I think Adam is a good one when I let him. If that makes sense. I feel like I shut him out sometimes when I shouldn't. But I think between those two, I think those are really good. My mom is too much in her own emotional, I guess, situation. I feel like I can't. I have to be strong for her, and I know I don't, but it's still like I hold back when I'm talking to her, if that makes sense.
So you have a friend, and you have Adam. Have you talked to them about specifically being that emotional support for you?
No.
How do you think they would react if you approached them about that?
I think both would be more than willing to be that emotional support for me.
So we give a little bit of a game plan, identifying your triggers, and go to them. Allow yourself to go to them.
Yeah. I think that would be good. But I think telling them that, like, hey, you're going to be the person I call when I'm having a bad day, I think will also help me feel like it gives me permission to go to him. Does that make sense? Versus now it's like, I feel like I would be calling him out of the blue. Not Adam, but my friend. Me calling her out of the blue.
So, call your friend.
Yeah.
Let her know. All right. I'm going to need to wrap up for today. So.